Hello everyone, thanks for tuning to our latest vlog update. So I want to do a video for this vlog update talking about losing weight in the lockdown. So of course we've all been locked down over the past few weeks, and I think that's for some of us to take some lifestyle changes. Certainly I've made a few changes in terms of you know, the diet and so on during the period of lockdown. I have actually lost a little bit of weight, so I'm going to talk about that and see whether you are all sort of experiencing different changes in terms of your lifestyle through the lockdown. During the coronavirus. Of course, we're beginning to come out of a lockdown now, but only very, very slowly. But of course, the things that we have learned through the lockdown and the changes that we've made, it's going to be important to try and keep those going as we begin to get back to normal. Anyway, if you're enjoying the vlogs, then please like, share and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you think. So a couple of months ago, around the time the lockdown started, I actually went up to around 14 stone in weight. It's been gradually creeping up over the past few years, really, and it does creep up on you. I'm sort of 42, so I'm not as young as I was. I haven't got the very fast metabolism that you have when you're in your 20s and early 30s, and you just sort of eat whatever you like, and you don't need to worry about piling on the pounds because your metabolism just burns it all off because you're very active anyway, and you've got a much faster metabolic rate going on to burn all of those calories anyway. But when you begin to get out of your mid-30s in particular, it's around, I think it was around sort of 35, 36, 37, when I just started getting a little bit of weight coming along, gradually, incrementally, so slowly that you don't really notice it, but very gradually as the months and the years go by, it just gradually starts to sort of creep up on you. And I've always been relatively active, although I don't sort of work out in a gym or anything. I am relatively active. We're in the countryside. I've inherited my dad's garden, of course. He died in 2016, so I'm always very active in the summer in the garden. But just very slowly over time, as you get old, and particularly as you reach 40 and go into your 40s, the weight begins to creep up on you. So around the time of the lockdown, I went on the scales, and I had actually gone up to 14 stone. So I thought I've got to do something to stop this. It's just going ever upwards. And I checked out the BMI thing from the NHS website. Check out the BMI, and I saw that being 5'10", which is my height, I'm just a little bit under 6 foot, but being 5'10" and 14 stone placed me in the overweight category. Not obese, but certainly in the overweight category. And I thought, if I carry on like this, then it won't be many more years, maybe another 2-3 years, before I probably find myself in the obese category. And then, of course, we started hearing all about how weight is quite important for surviving the coronavirus. We've been able to survive the coronavirus, and there's a connection with diabetes as well. A lot of people who are unfortunately getting this virus very severely are either overweight or are diabetic, or in some circumstances have both health issues. So and we know that, of course, as our weight increases, our risk of diabetes increases as well. So I thought that everything was telling me that basically it's time to lose a bit of weight. So I've, of course, been very active in the garden anyway. We're in the spring, going into the summer, so I'm always in and out, sort of working in the garden. So that helps with the physical side of things. But then, of course, there's also the diet as well. And what I've found has been very helpful to lose weight, because I am now down to 12.5 stone. I want to get to 12 stone, which is where I was when I started Gav's Weather Vids in 2012. So in 2012, I was 34, in October 2012, 35. So I want to get back to that weight, 12 stone, which would place me, you know, right in the middle of the healthy range for the BMI. I've already checked this out. It placed me right in the middle. Actually, I have just gone, being 12.5 stone, 80 kilograms, I have just gone into the healthy range, but I'm at the upper end of that range. So I want to come back down a little bit more and get to 12 stone, maybe a little bit under 12 stone, but certainly want to get to 12 stone, and it gives me a little bit of leeway then to be within the healthy range, but not right up the top end of healthy range, is something. So the one thing that I've found been very helpful with this is cutting right back on bread. So I hadn't really noticed that I was eating all that much bread, to be honest. But when you stop and think about it and you tot it up, you do find that actually you tend to be eating a lot more of the sort of unhealthy things than you think you are, and particularly with bread. So you have your breakfast, of course, in the morning. I mean, you might have a sandwich for lunch as well. Then you have your dinner. And, of course, I'm always recording quite late. I'm very often recording quite late and uploading, processing well into the night. And I've sort of been getting into the habit of kind of like having a sandwich or some toast or something while I waited for the video to process. And so when you add it all up, you sort of quite easily gain to around 4-5 slices of bread a day, really, without realising that that's what you're doing. So I've cut that right back. I've basically cut out bread altogether. Otherwise, I wasn't eating all that unhealthily, really, I don't think. So I think it has been mainly the bread that's been the worst thing. I'm not sort of a big junk food addict. I'm very, very rarely, at McDonald's and whatnot, and eating sort of junk food and takeaways and that sort of thing. So I think it was bread, and probably being rather inactive as well. But definitely I've made some quite significant changes to things over the past couple of months while we've been in lockdown. It's been easier to do in lockdown as well, because of course, especially with bread, with that you're sort of getting a loaf a day. You're popping up to shops, getting a loaf, coming back. Next day or the day after that, you might pop up to shops, get another loaf, come back, and then next day or a couple of days after that, you might go and get another loaf, and so on. But being in lockdown, I've really had to scale back the amount of time I visit the shop. So still haven't been to the shops in Northampton or in Daventry, which are the two closest towns to me. I haven't been there since the beginning of March, or the middle of March, I don't think. And even the village shops, I'm out in the countryside in Northamptonshire, even the village shops, I'm only visiting those village shops still, even now, only like once, maybe at the most twice a week. So that means that, of course, if you're not going out to buy the food, then you've got to sort of ration the food when you're at home. So that has definitely helped. I suspect a lot of people are in the same boat with this. They have had to sort of ration the things that are quite unhealthy for them, because they're just not getting out to the shops enough to buy them. So I would suspect there are probably quite a lot of people who are in a similar position to me, where you've cut back on like the unhealthy things that you enjoy, perhaps by accident, really, although with me it was by design. But I suppose a lot of people are in this position by accident, and sort of accidentally are finding that they're losing a little bit of weight as they are cutting back the things that are quite unhealthy for them. But that's definitely what I've been doing. So I've been very, very active in the garden. We have had some superb weather as well, so that's helped to be able to get out in the garden. I've even got a little bit of a suntan that I've managed to get through this spring, and being very active in the garden, and also cutting back, particularly on bread. One or two other things. I was getting into a habit of like having quite a bit of chocolate. I absolutely love chocolate. I adore chocolate, but I had gone into a bit of a habit for having a little bit too much of that, really. So basically, I've stopped eating chocolate. Although I'm not going to be able to give up chocolate forever. I know that when I start getting out to the shops more, the chocolate aisle will pull me in. So I will sort of let myself have like 1 or 2 chocolate bars a month or something, but nowhere near as much as I was having. And as I say, these things sort of creep up on you, and you don't really realise that you are sort of gaining the weight that you're gaining, and you're eating the amount that you're eating. I mean, it's okay to eat anything in moderation, of course, we know that. So, I mean, there's no problem with having a McDonald's, for example, as long as you only do it occasionally. A little bit of what you fancy never did anyone any harm. Eat and drink whatever you like. That's my motto. But do it in moderation. So when you've got these health sort of fascists telling you don't ever eat anything that contains fat, or don't ever have an alcoholic drink, then it's very, very silly advice, really. A little bit of what you fancy doesn't do you any harm, but it's when you let it sort of creep up on you and you overdo it, but you don't realise that you're overdoing it, I think. But yeah, definitely I've lost around 1.5 stone. I'm feeling a lot more energetic. I feel I've got a lot more energy about me, and that's something I hadn't really noticed either, because that creeps up on you as well. Your loss of energy over time definitely creeps up on you. I've been quite unwell over Christmas. I've talked about this in a video on the channel. I have been quite unwell before and over Christmas with what I suspect might have been COVID-19, but I've got no way of knowing for sure whether it was or not until the antibody test becomes widely available. So I've been feeling lethargic really since like the end of last year, but as time was going on, I think that was getting a little bit worse as well. So and I didn't clear the virus actually, but I have around Christmas as well as I should have done. I was still very very lethargic and feeling quite unwell at times, very tired, even into March, and I suspect that I probably didn't clear that virus because of the because I sort of let myself go to around 14 stone, and when you get to that sort of level, the body does start to suffer, I think, a little bit. The immune system begins to creak under the weight, if you like. So so yes, definitely I'm feeling a lot more energetic. I've got a lot more energy, just generally, really. I'm not feeling tired every afternoon like I was doing. Whether that's because I've managed to clear the virus properly now, or whether it's because I've lost the weight, or whether it's a combination of both, I don't know. But I definitely feel a lot healthier than I did sort of 3-6 months ago. And yeah, so it's the main thing now, of course, we've come out of lockdown and things are going to gradually start to get some sense of normality, is to maintain the changes that I've made, and that I suspect a lot of people have made through this period as well. So as things get back on, it's going to be important not to start allowing those bad habits of like late night eating while my videos are processing, not to let those sort of bad habits creep back in, and to maintain what I've been doing. And I think a lot of people will be in that situation as well as they come out of lockdown. But yeah, I've definitely lost around around 1.5 stone. I'm aiming to lose another 0.5 stone, get back to 12 stone, which is where I was in when was it, 2012, when I started GazWeathers.com. So I think the lockdown's been quite good for me, actually. I think you know, I've made quite a few lifestyle changes that are quite good for me. I've lost some weight. I've done a lot more in the garden. And on the business side of things, actually, it's been a very, very challenging period in terms of the business side for GazWeathers.com. All weather websites have been suffering, but that has forced me to start diversifying, doing more content. I've been doing a lot more live streaming. I've been doing more videos. I brought some videos back that I had stopped doing years ago, and I've started doing new content for other viewers and for other people. So, all in all, I think actually for me, the lockdown's probably been quite a good experience. It has had its challenges, it has had its drawbacks. Been very nasty financially for all weather websites, and my website is included in that. But I think overall, I've probably done quite well out of this lockdown. I've made quite a few lifestyle changes. It's forced me to diversify with the business and start changing things a little bit there. And yeah, I think overall the lockdown has been quite a positive experience for me. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments if you found the lockdown a positive experience, if you found it a negative experience. Has it forced you to make lifestyle changes like I've made? Have you lost weight? Have you gained weight? Made any other changes? Let me know in the comments what you think, and it'll be interesting to see what people have to say about this period. It's been a very, very strange period. It's one we will look back on for the rest of our lives as a very, very odd and unusual and very strange period in the history of both our lives and more generally in the country's lives, and more generally than that in the world's life. So it will be a very, very odd time to look back on. And let me know what your feelings about the lockdown are, and how it has been for you. For me, it's been quite a positive experience, I think. I'll let you know how the weight goes when I get to 12 stone, the target. Then I'll let you all know. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and all of that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you soon for a new vlog. Thanks for watching.